3.
So we're cultivating Christmas stories, dopey Christmas stories, like 'twas the night before Christmas and all through the house. You know, not a dope fiend was stirring. And here we have Jessica Kent, superstar of YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, future memoirist, maybe one day, future Apple computer owner. Welcome back to the show.
That's the intro? I can't with you. I can't.
That was a good intro. I thought that was really good.
It was good, like off the cuff, too.
Dude, you and me have been, I think we've been talking for like 2.5 years or 2 years, something like that. Maybe 1.5. Why?
Has it been that long?
It's been a while. Maybe it's 1.5 years. I feel like it was the summer. Was it COVID? Was it COVID when we first started talking? I think it was, because it was like my whole Freeway Ricky Ross debacle was during the summer. And you were telling me you were going to write a book, but you've forsaken the book, right? The book has been forsaken for the moment.
I mean, I haven't forsaken the book, but we are wanting it to be a screenplay. So we kind of just went in a different direction because we want this to be a movie by this, like, my fucked up life story.
I think it will be an incredible movie. I have incredible high hopes. But welcome back to the show. Before we say another thing, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And it's Christmas, so Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Do you have like seasonal depression with Christmas, or like are you a super happy Christmas person?
Well, first of all, I'm Jewish, so Christmas is kind of like off to the side. But I'm a super happy Christmas person. I like Christmas. I don't have seasonal depression. I enjoy Christmas. What about you?
I like Christmas morning. Like, that's my favorite thing with the girls. But every single thing leading up to that is like the most, It's a lot of work, a lot of presents, a lot of stress. And I'm trying to work overtime so that I can have a couple of days with them and just celebrate Christmas and not do anything. So leading up to it is hell on earth, and I don't want any part of it. I don't want to go to Christmas parties. Like, I don't fucking want to. But Christmas morning with my two daughters, amazing.
Right. And are you doing Christmas parties and stuff or no?
I just want to be invited to them so that I can tell them no, thank you.
Or just
like, I want to be included.
Yes. I want to be invited. I don't want to go. You tell them yes, and then you just don't go. Oh, no, it's COVID, Omicron, blah, blah, blah. And on our Dopey Christmas special, we are trying to collect as many Christmas fucked up stories as we can. And I know, from your story, there's probably a lot of very fucked up Christmas stories. Can you think of a fucked up Christmas story to share with the Dopey Nation?
I am always good for a fucked up story about addiction. Like, you can always count on me for that.
Nice.
So the Christmas before I left New York, it was Christmas of 2010. I went on the run February of 2011, right? Well, Christmas 2010, my dealer was on vacation and we were moving a lot of product. So he was going to Alaska, and for whatever fucked up reason, he was entrusting me with a lot of dope, a lot of heroin, because he was going to be gone and I couldn't make my re-ups. So I essentially got triple what I was supposed to get.
You were the middle
in 3
person.
weeks.
He was the supplier and you were the middle person.
So I had runners that ran for me and sold for me. I didn't do a lot of day-to-day transactions at that point. I tried to stop doing that because I'm like, I'm so fucked. I'm going to get locked up again. Like, I tried to minimize all of the FaceTime that I could. But when you do that and you're a drug addict, you become a recluse and you don't leave your house. And then you get like really paranoid and really weird, right? So I'm like, oh, I'm not doing all these deals, so I'm not going to get locked up. What are you talking about? So stay in the house, don't get sunlight, never fucking go outside, don't get fresh air.
Yeah,
you're fine. Everything's good. Well, my mom was like, I really want you to come up to Utica, where she was living at the time, Utica, New York. And she's like, just come up to Utica and have Christmas with us, whatever. And I'm kind of a sucker for my parents. If they ask me to do something, I'm probably going to do it. I'm like, okay, I'll go to Christmas. And just picture this for a second. I'm a total recluse, don't want to leave my house, just got a huge re-up. And my mom is telling me, please come to Christmas and stay
And
a
you're
few days.
addicted to heroin. You're addicted to heroin
So addicted.
also. Okay.
At this point, I'm intravenously using. I'm dating a guy that is also intravenously using, and he's costing me a shit ton of money. So, all of that's going on with my dealer. I'm like, well, I can't leave all this shit in my apartment. Like, what if someone breaks in and takes it? So now I crossed a line where I brought heroin into my mom's house, and I would not do that. Like, I had these rules, right? Don't use your own shit. Sell your product, and then you can get high off your profit. I had these fucked up rules, and at first they all made sense, right? And I was really disciplined, but addiction doesn't give a fuck about your rules. So I'm like, it's just this one time. I'm just going to bring it here just this one time, because if someone breaks into my apartment while I'm away and they steal all my shit, I'm so fucked. So I go to my mom's house for Christmas, and I'm supposed to stay there for 3 or 4 days. And I have an entire backpack full of heroin. It was probably $60,000 worth of heroin.
Hold on, before you say another thing. When you have a backpack full of heroin, like how much heroin are we talking about exactly? Like, what does it look like? Like, give me an object that it could compare to.
Okay, mixing bowl full.
No
that
way.
I had to separate into stacks. So 10 bundles per stack. And my mom obviously was going to notice if I'm really guarded over this backpack. Like, why is she carrying a backpack all around the house? But I had to, because I'm a lunatic. No one here is going to take this backpack. But I'm like, if I had a picture of this, it would just make me cry and laugh at the same time. But I'd be sitting in my mom's living room. She's cooking all this food, right? Tons of Christmas food. And she made cookies and fudge and bread and all this shit. And I'm nodding out on her couch, clutching a backpack like a weirdo.
Wow, you had to.
That's normal, totally normal. And my boyfriend at the time, he was going into the bathroom every 10, 20 minutes to shoot up. And now I can't get out what I have. So I can't keep track of what he's using and what I'm using. This backpack just floats around the fucking apartment with us, in and out of the bathroom over and over and over again. And my brother, he's a couple years older than me. He lived with my mom at the time. And my brother, at one point, he tried to wake me up, and he's like, hey, let's go smoke a bowl, like weed. And I'm like, no, I'm just really tired. He's like, you didn't do anything today. Why are you tired? Why are you 20 and tired? Are you kidding? He
didn't know. Did he not know?
He knew, but he didn't want to push it too far. Not yet. So I'm like, no, I don't want to smoke with you. And he just gets madder and madder over the course of these 3 days. So at one point, I'm in the bathroom and I'm using, and my brother just opens the door. Doesn't knock, nothing, just opens the door, and he sees it, and he is just crazy mad. And at the same time, my boyfriend is there, and he's going through tons of my shit, tons of it, because I can't keep track. And it's a very small apartment. Very small apartment.
Now, let me ask you one more question really quickly, Jess.
Sure.
When you have a mixing bowl full of heroin and it's not broken up into bags, right? It's in one big bag. Yeah, how could, it would be so easy to go through a crazy amount and not even notice. If you have a bundle of dope, you have a tiny little bit in each bag, and it's to stretch it out. But if you have access to anything bigger, it goes very fast. Anyway, keep going, please. Sorry.
No, you're 1,000% right. Because what I would do is I had this little straw. I hate if this is triggering, but I would make the bags, right? And with a straw, it's this tiny little nothing. Here's my nail. It's on this nail. Put that in a bag. That's what a bag of heroin is. It's small. Small. So yeah, I had no way of knowing how much he was using and how much I was using. And this 3 days with my mom, my brother, and some other people, it was just really hard on my mom. And she's just trying to cook and be in denial. And she's like Joan Cleaver, whipping out all this food. And I'm not fucking hungry. All I want to do is go to the bathroom and get high. I don't want you to ask me all these questions. Please just leave me the fuck alone, which is horrible to say. She just wants to have a good Christmas.
Did you guys have needles everywhere?
I didn't have needles everywhere, but I had a tin where I would keep my stuff. Cotton and needles and whatever, and I'd keep that in the backpack too. So again, this backpack just was going all over the place.
Did your
Um,
boyfriend keep track of his shit okay? Or was his shit just like a mess? Was there blood on the floor and all that?
Maybe. I don't really know. I don't really
Okay.
know.
If I was
He
there, it would
he
have been a
used
terrible mess. Anyway, keep going.
were you were
I was
messy.
very messy. I'm still very messy,
I'm
but I was really bad. I like got evicted because
yeah.
someone was like, "There's too much blood in the bathroom." Anyway, keep going. Bad.
You need to tell that story on YouTube.
I don't know. Keep
Um
going. I'm with you.
so yeah. My boyfriend used an extreme amount. Like he used a lot and he constantly would get me into debt. He was supposed to sell for me. He was supposed to be a runner, but he just was horrible at it and he'd steal from me all the time and he was using a lot. Well, all of this stuff is about to come to a head because it's fucking Christmas and I'm nodding out and I can't even have a conversation with anybody. So my brother tries to like confront my boyfriend about it and he's getting aggressive. And my mom is like, I made pie. And I'm like, what the fuck? And like my brother's like really mad at me and now he's trying to talk to me. And I'm like, where the fuck is the backpack? And I had looked in there and I noticed like we're missing a lot of stuff. Like I am in so much fucking trouble. And this whole time I'm like, I'm not even apologizing for how I've acted. I'm just being so shitty and so mean and so aggressive because all I want to do is leave. I do not want to be here. And my mom, my poor mom, she just wanted to have fucking Christmas. She wanted to have dinner and like open presents and be like a regular family. Um, and what's crazy about like addiction in my family is every single time I have been doing really good, my brother's doing really bad and vice versa. We've never been like sober together. We've always struggled in different times. Very itchy. So all of this stuff starts coming to a head and I'm getting madder and madder and everyone in the house is upset and my brother, is fucking pissed that I brought shit into my mom's house and I'm using and I'm all fucked up on Christmas, which fair. And someone had to call me out, and my mom's not going to do it because she doesn't want me to leave and then not show up for a year, So my mom is like dealing with my bullshit because she just wants me to be there and that fucking sucks. So I start getting my shit together, the presents that she gave me, and my fucking clothes, and this backpack that's been floating around, and my boyfriend's mad, and now I'm fighting with him because he's using my shit, and I'm like gonna get in debt. I'm gonna have to fucking deal with this and make this money back. So this all just like comes to a head, and everyone's fucking pissed and yelling at each other. I grab my shit and I take off. I make someone come get me. I didn't even have a car at this time because I was so paranoid I didn't want to drive. Or have a car registered in my name. I mean, when you lose everything multiple times, it's like, fuck that car. I'll just pay someone to drive me around. And you like rationalize your shit, or you could, stop selling drugs and stop doing drugs. But I'm like, I'm going to do it better this time. I'm not going to own a car. It's going to be fine.
It's to simplify, minimize, no car, no problem.
Exactly. It's going to be great. What? No. So I'm walking down the road and I'm fighting with my boyfriend. He's trying to chase me down the road. I'm like losing my mind. He tries to grab the backpack. I punch him. My brother, I look and he's looking out the window and sees this going on. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. So finally my friend comes and grabs me and picks me up. And I'm in the car and my boyfriend tries to get in the car and I'm like, fuck you, you can walk. And I'm trying to get him out of the car. Like it was insane. It was insane. I finally calmed down enough to be like, okay, just please take me back to my apartment. Like, let's just please like get the fuck out of here. Like we can't be fighting on the sidewalk. Like it's Christmas, I just want to be left fuck alone. Well, on like this drive back to where I lived, it was probably like 30 minutes from where my mom was. My friend, my childhood friend, who like I was raised with, she's like, you need to go to rehab. Like you fucking need a program. You need to go to rehab. Like, look at you. Like, look at yourself right now. And in all of this chaos, I didn't even notice that I had dried blood on my arm. And like it was all down the side of my arm. I didn't notice it at all. And she's just like,
it sounds like you were a little bit messy too.
I was angry and in a rush. No, I was messy. But she's now mad at me and talking about rehab, and I've just fucking had enough. Like it is too much for me. Get the fuck off my back. And I was very violent and aggressive anytime someone would try to get me to take a good look at what I was doing. I defended my addiction to the ground. I didn't care about anything else. And you were not going to come in between me and my addiction. You're not going to use my drugs, get me in debt, fuck with me. Like, I just want to get high. Like, please just leave me alone. Well, it turns out that, yes, I got into debt. And I went on the run from that in February of 2011. But Christmas of 2010, that was the last time I saw my mom and my brother. And then, like, for years. So I got locked up in Arkansas October of 2011. So I didn't see my mom and my brother in person until 2014 or 15. And like I had to live with that. Like that's the last memory of they have of you in person. Like
Right.
you were a complete maniac, strung out, bringing drugs into the house, acting irate and violent. That's the last memory. And that's the last holiday your family had with you. So it just hit. It really hit home when I had to
No,
call my mom in October.
it's a crazy,
And
crazy, crazy Christmas drug story. What happened when you
totally
saw
normal.
her in 2014? Like, where were you guys at then?
Yeah. So my mom has always been my ride or die. Even when I was like in my meth addiction, I would call her in the middle of the night and like talk to her on meth. And I'm like playing Guitar Hero on my phone. I'm like, everything's fine. I'm talking a million miles an hour at 2 a.m. And she would answer the phone at 2 a.m. to talk to me. You know, so she was with me. But I just didn't see, like mentally she was there for me, right? Answering the phone and stuff. And she wrote me all throughout my prison stay and everything. So she was always there as much as she could be from 1,300 miles away. So when I saw her in like 2014 or maybe 2015, it was awesome. We were so happy to finally see each other. And she got to meet Micah for the first time. And Micah was like 4. But yeah, it was a really emotional visit. Like, oh, here's my daughter. You're meeting her for the first time in real life. Like it was an overflow of emotion. I'm remembering that Christmas and now she's meeting my daughter and it's been years. And like, it was really emotional and hard, but like in a good way.
Amazing. And I love that. I think that's a brutal, brutal dopey Christmas story, which I appreciate, which I knew you would deliver the dopey goods for this dopey Christmas. I want to hear
Every
about
time.
Christmas in jail. Like what the fuck? Like did you ever you didn't get high too much in jail, right?
Which time?
The last time.
No. I didn't use drugs or drink alcohol while I was pregnant. And then after my daughter was born, I didn't do that because I was so afraid I was going to get drug tested because they do that. They drug tested in prison. And if I had a dirty urine, then that's going to be like, she was in foster care. So DHS would have been told that I had a dirty urine. So I was really, really scared.
So when you're in jail for Christmas, do like you guys decorate the cells? Is there a Christmas tree? Is there any lights or tinsel? What do you do?
Yeah, none of that.
Okay.
You don't really
Do you
decorate.
string up popcorn and like and you know, I'm just playing here. I'm just trying to have fun here.
No. This is what we do. So we'll all get together and make a nice meal or make like some like holiday dessert or whatever on Christmas. We want to call our family. So the phone lines are long and we want to get Christmas cards or make Christmas stuff to send out, like arts and crafts and stuff to send to our family or our kids or whatever. Some churches will come in and you can sign up for gifts. Like the church will buy a gift for like your son or your daughter and you can send out gifts. Like, so there's little things like that. But inmates get like a t-shirt and like socks as like a gift. And it seems so small, but it means everything to an inmate to have a fresh white tee and a brand new pair of socks. There's different like programs in prison too. Like there's drug programs and Christian programs, and they'll do something different. Like they might celebrate it more than like the regular compound would. But for just a regular inmate that's not in a program, you're not really going to do that much.
All right, and Christmas this year is now that it's on its way. You got everything for your daughters, you got for your fiance, you hooked it up, and now like is did you get everything or are you still scrambling?
So I'm going to do everything in an ADHD deadline induced panic and wrap it the night before. So it's going to be fine.
That's the tradition. I do the same thing. I
have 3 days.
I know. I'm with you. But I appreciate you coming on and telling this amazing dopey holiday classic. So thank you, Jess.
You're welcome.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.